Zaith here. E3 2019 was a blast, even if there was a bit less going on than past years, with no conference at all from Sony, possibly due to the new generation of consoles still in development. Post what E3 games you're looking forward to in the comments, and here are the top 10 games shown at E3 2019 that I'm personally looking forward to the most. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. To me, this looks like a pretty fun Star Wars game that's almost like the evolution of the Force Unleashed series, with better visuals, effects, animations, and an overall slower paced and more focused combat gameplay style. Force powers look sick. I was hopeful for some more RPG elements like dialogue options. I didn't see any of that. I suppose that would be more so BioWare's area. But in gameplay I did see skill points being earned, and I really wanted to see how the skill point system works, but alas it was not shown. So there's still more to look forward to. Astral Chain. This was an unexpected surprise from the Nintendo conference. Yeah, it's anime. Understandably, it's not for everyone. Earth is under attack by alien chimera. The only way to fight them is to sink captured chimera to human operators. Best bit? It's directed by the man behind Nier Automata and supervised by the guy behind Bayonetta. I'm surprised how good the game looks for the Nintendo Switch. It's really got Platinum Games' signature over-the-top flashy animations and gameplay. And it's coming the end of August this year. Watch Dogs Legion. One of the biggest breakout stars revealed at E3 this year has got to be the pensioner and assassin Helen. And she kind of embodies what Watch Dogs Legion is all about, getting to recruit and play as almost anyone. I think it's difficult to do good storytelling around a feature like this, so I'm looking forward to seeing this pulled off, hopefully successfully. Legion is set in London and looks visually great. I saw active camouflage, which I can see being really useful, especially after just playing through Watch Dogs 2, which overall felt like a big improvement over the original, so hopefully Legion can be better yet. Doom Eternal. This is something I was happy to see more of from Bethesda. I loved the previous Doom, and this just looks like more of that with refinements, updates, and some pretty incredible new locations. It looks like we might even be stomping demons in heaven itself, and that might be linked to why Eternal is in the title. While the previous Doom remake's multiplayer was a bit weak, Eternal's multiplayer actually looks pretty exciting, allowing players to play as big beefy demons in what looks like massive arena style boss battles. I'm legit looking forward to this. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. The original Link's Awakening was actually the first Zelda game I played, so it has a special nostalgic place in my heart. There's always a right to be concerned when translating something brilliant in 2D to 3D. I mean, just look at the Sonic the Hedgehog series. That said, this Switch remake does look good, and I could recognise so many locations and situations remade one for one from the original. There's also an extra dungeon creator mode that looks interesting. I'm curious how much customization you'll be able to do, because at the minute, it just looks like rearranging pre-made rooms. I think this could be Nintendo's way of testing the water for something like Super Mario Maker for the Zelda universe. Borderlands 3. I love Borderlands, and the initial reveal footage from Borderlands 3 didn't look too exciting. In fact, it still looked like a game from the previous generation, thanks to the unique art style. But the new reveals at the Microsoft conference kind of refueled that Borderlands fire for me. Bigger talent trees, more action skills, the continuation of the story, new guns, hell, there's even guns with legs. I'm absolutely looking forward to some co-op with friends. I just wish the Epic Game Store hadn't bought this game off Steam for PC. Ugh. Cyberpunk 2077. In particular, the Keanu Reeves reveal in-game was pretty epic, only topped by his appearance on stage.
Cyberpunk.
I'm already very excited for Cyberpunk 2077, but now knowing Keanu Reeves plays a major character just makes it even better. Being in an open world game, I've not entirely had the chance to see exactly how the open world elements work, but I'm confident that CD Projekt Red will nail it. Another good part of Cyberpunk 2077 at E3 this year was finding out its release date, and I'm glad we'll get to play this before we could see it at yet another E3 next year. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. Hands down, this was the biggest completely unexpected surprise of all of E3 this year. A follow-up game to the original Breath of the Wild. It looks very much to be using the same engine. Fingers crossed it's hopefully a completely different overworld region. They didn't actually show much, just hints of an in-game cinematic, and possibly a new major villain. At least more was shown than, say, Metroid Prime or Bayonetta 3 last year when they only showed the title logo. Elden Ring. Imagine a Dark Souls-like game backed by the legendary writer George R.R. Martin, who wrote the Song of Ice and Fire series. There's a lot of potential here. Again, not much shown other than a very interesting cinematic, showing a fantasy world with some pretty mysterious and horrific elements. I felt lots of little familiar elements from Software's other games. The creepy arms in the dark made me think of Bloodborne. A woman with a prosthetic arm reminded me of Sekiro, while the knights and blacksmith felt like Dark Souls. Maybe Elden Ring is something that can finally knock Dark Souls off its pedestal for me. Before we look at number 1, some quick honourable mentions. Tales of Arise. More anime, but did look like a pretty big visual update for the series. I need to catch up and finish Berseria so I can actually play this one. Minecraft Dungeons is an isometric action RPG that looked surprisingly pretty good. Phantasy Star Online 2 is something I tried to play on Japanese servers with a partial English translation mod. Looking forward to actually retrying PSO2 through a proper English version. Halo Infinite. I think Halo really needs redeemed after Halo 5. Pity we didn't get to see any gameplay this E3. I honestly couldn't even remember what happened to Master Chief at the end of number 5, and why he ended up where he was in this cinematic. Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm excited for trying a completely new kind of Pokemon. I just didn't see much new at E3, and it's a little sad that not all Pokemon are being included in these games. And I was personally a little bit disappointed with Sun and Moon's hand-holding. Ghostwire Tokyo has piqued my curiosity. The cinematic visuals are incredible, but I just don't know enough about this one yet. And my number 1 game shown that I'm the most excited for would be Final Fantasy VII. Let me start off by saying Final Fantasy VII is my favourite game of all time, and I'm extremely skeptical that modern day Square Enix can recreate Final Fantasy VII without doing a terrible job. But what I did see at E3 this year has given me a bit more hope. The Tifa designs are great, I saw lots of familiar locations like the sewers, and there's some elements of turn-based combat. On the other side of the coin, there are still so many things that I'm still worried for. The story being rewrote and being even worse than the final season of Game of Thrones. Summon materia exclusively behind Day 1 DLC, and the episodic nature. I'm praying that this will be good. Overall, I'd say a decent E3 this year. It could have been a lot worse, but I'm looking forward to E4 next year. Post your favourite E3 games in the comments. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.